Why is it that the more successful I've become, the less that men seem to want to date me? For those of you who are further along in your careers, I'm really curious to hear what your experience has been with this, so wanted to share mine. I always get told that I am too intimidating.
Really?
Okay, let's just get something out of the way real quick. Self-respecting men don't find career women intimidating. That's a myth that you tell yourself to help you sleep at night when you're alone, in your empty bed, at the age of 37 with your ovaries getting ready to throw in the towel. What you call intimidating is what men call a pain in the ass. You spent your prime years being a boss and focusing on a meaningless career, and you ultimately ended up treating that relationship the same way you treat your job. You'll question every decision that isn't yours, you'll demand that you have final say in any of those decisions, and you'll never be able to trust your man to lead because you think you're a better leader because of that job. And any self-respecting man worth his weight in salt isn't going to tolerate that kind of disrespect.
Yeah, that checks out. That sounds about right.
Because I am a strong, independent woman doesn't mean that I want to be that in every single category of my life, because I'll tell you, I'm exhausted and I would really love to have some help sometimes. And I miss having a kind of companionship and partnership. And I want to still be able to have my hobbies. I want my partner to have their hobbies, right? Or future partner, because I'm single. When I go on first dates, I try really hard to not talk too much about my job. I really want to get to know the other person, what they care about, things that they like to do, and just enjoy their presence and have a good time. I'm not here to be, like it's like some kind of interview or something like that. And so I actually try not to answer too many questions about my job. Like I just kind of try to quickly, oh yeah, this is what I do, and then like try to move on,
I am Jack's complete lack of surprise.
Woman, there's something you need to understand. In the minds of the men that you desire, the phrase strong and independent woman is seen as a rallying cry for a brainwashed cultist. You have only started to realize this, so you're trying to salvage what little femininity you have left by saying that you want your man to keep his hobbies just so long as you can keep yours. There's a problem with that though. That's not a sign of femininity. That is a transaction. And men find that incredibly unattractive. And the reason you don't talk about your career is because deep down you know that's what completely destroyed your personality. And the desirable men see through that paper-thin facade almost instantaneously, and they come to the conclusion that you're simply not worth the effort. But you don't need to worry, because there is an army of simps out there who will gladly trade what precious little dignity they have left just to have a shot with you. So you got that going for you, which is pretty hilarious.
I've actually had an amazing dating experience so far in New York. I've been here for almost a year now. I also think that it's not necessarily a bad thing to have this automatic filter. I've come to embrace it. It's just kind of interesting because I noticed that people make a lot of comments, or they kind of put me on some kind of pedestal, or they just make these observations. It's hard to pinpoint exactly, but I'm curious if anyone else, especially career women, if you've had this experience before. I try really hard to just not talk about what I do for work. I would say from my experience, this is gender specific, and I've only noticed this with men. As a bisexual woman, I haven't had this experience when dating women or non-binary individuals.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Hold on a second. How is it that you're able to have an incredible dating experience in New York but still be single after an entire year of not only dating men, but also women and the non-binaryisms? It sounds to me like nobody finds you desirable in any capacity if that's the case. Personally, I think it's a sad state of affairs when everybody finds you homogeneously unappealing across all levels. It's blatantly obvious to everybody that you want a strong, masculine man to take care of you. If that wasn't the case, you'd be complaining how nobody wants you, not just men. But you're the type of woman who needs a man who's going to be more masculine than you, and those men have better options than to settle for a woman who's already on her way to investing her life savings into cat food.
So this is the story of how I got disowned by my family for starting an OF.
That's why I praise the Lord for prostitutes.
I started one about a year and a half ago, and like I always said from the start, I was going to go all in with it. Like I wasn't going to bother hiding it because I knew it would come out eventually. Like my goal was to be super successful, so I wasn't going to bother trying to hide it from friends or family because I knew it was just going to come out. But like I wasn't shoving it in their face. Like it literally made like a whole, different page and everything like that, so it wouldn't be all up in their grill. But as time went on, I got bigger and bigger, and people started seeing my stuff, friends started seeing my stuff, and eventually my family saw it. But again, I feel like it's one of those things where you have to be nosy to look into it. Like, you have to want to look into it. It doesn't just jump out at your face. Like, you're clicking buttons to different places that gets you there.
I can still see it when I shut my eyes.
You're not supposed to look directly at it.
Well, golly gee willikers, lady, what in the hell did you think was gonna happen? Just because you told your family that your career decision was to completely throw your life away doesn't mean that's the end of the consequences. The internet is a fairly small place, and people remember stuff, and what gets posted on the internet remains there forever. It was only a matter of time before someone was gonna send images to your parents of you inserting foreign objects into your tainted goop chamber of rotted roast beef. It didn't matter that you told them what you were doing. When word got out, your parents will always be known as failures for allowing their daughter to do something so shameful. Just because you were making money doesn't change the fact that you humiliated your entire family as a consequence. And you would have known this if you had taken more than 3 seconds before thinking becoming an OF girl was a good idea.
When my mum and sister found out, they couldn't even confront me about it. They had to ask my dad to call me about it because they just couldn't talk to me about it. So my dad called me and he said, I heard you doing this, this, and this. He was super supportive. I honestly take my hat off to him because he was so grounded and he was super supportive with what I did, like the way I chose to live my life. But yeah, other than him, no one could really look me in the eyes and talk to me about it. Like, everyone would talk behind my back, but they wouldn't talk to me directly to my face. And then I got a message from a family member one day being like, just completely disowning me, not wanting anything to do with me, like took me off every other platform and like didn't speak to me for about a year. I was hurt by it, but at the same time I was like glad to have that toxicity out of my life. Like, if someone can't take me for who I am and how I am, then so be it, they can get out.
That's what you get, dumbass.
Yeah, your dad wasn't supportive of what you did. That's not how this works. Despite you completely ruining his name, his reputation, and privacy, he's still your father and he still wants to love you. But that doesn't mean he's not secretly disappointed in you. The rest of your family had no problem cutting ties because they're most likely receiving endless amounts of abuse from their community and on the internet simply because they're related to an online prostitute. And there's no going back from this. You think it's totally fine now because the toxicity is out of your life, but wait till you're in your 40s and you're completely alone. You'll have no friends or loved ones, and you'll have nobody to lean on when you get hit with major life struggles. And you're too ignorant to see this because you're too blinded by money and youth, both of which will disappear as Father Time dispenses his own form of temporal justice.
Oh, this is just so shocking. I mean, I must just be so monumentally naive.
You are.
You know, I used to care so much about what people thought of me, their opinions of me. And now, like, I'm just at the point in my life where I don't care what people think about me anymore. It's just like the biggest weight off my shoulders. Like, I could literally not be happier not caring about what people think about me. And then I get a message from a close family member saying that someone in my family literally went onto my page, screenshotted like everything and sent it around this big family group chat. And these weren't just photos of me at the beach with my friends, like these were like full-on photos that they had paid for, screenshotted and sent to everyone in my family. Like, that is literally illegal. You're not allowed to do that. I was absolutely devastated.
What? Ah.
Well, I thought you didn't care about what people thought of you, especially your family. You said you were totally fine with the toxicity being cut out of your life, so who cares if someone posted your nudes for the entire family to witness? It's almost as if everyone who's related to you needs to know that you are an online prostitute simply because the mere association with you has significant ramifications in their social circles and quite possibly their jobs. Woman, you could have robbed an intergalactic space bank. You could have sold stolen golf clubs on the black market. or taken a job with George Soros and they still would have stood by your side with honor. But there's no going back from what you did. You not only ruined your life, you embarrassed your entire family in exchange for some quick cash. Any humiliation and embarrassment you suffer, you've brought on yourself.
I know it, your family knows it. Dogs know it.
Here's a quick translation for something men commonly say on the dating apps. When the question of what are you looking for in a relationship or whatever, when that comes up, their answer could be any one of these. I'm going with the flow. I'm looking for a partner, but I'm not in a rush. I just want a connection with someone and take it slow. If a connection is there, I'm willing to make it work. That's my favorite, willing. Ladies, if you are interested in something real and they feed you this BS, cut bait immediately.
Wow, that's fantastic work, man. You have the wisdom of a 6,000 or 7,000-year-old man. That's fantastic. We don't have to fill up the whole blackboard after all.
And when a woman says she wants to take things slow, find a connection, or is looking for a partner but there's no rush, what she really means is that she spent the prime years of her life chasing after Chad and Tyrone. But after countless flings, one-night stands, and situationships, she's totally fine with leaving you with Chad's sloppy seconds. However, this is with the added caveat that she will ultimately withhold bedroom intimacy for a minimum of 3 months so she can feel secure with you, and will ultimately offer you emotionless starfish sexual playtime for your trouble. However, in the event that she receives a single text message from Chad, she will immediately drop what she's doing and leave you to jump straight into his bed, with the added option to cheat on you and demand that you keep her despite her blatant infidelity. Gentlemen and gents, if a woman tells you this, then just delete the dating apps and go play some laser tag. It's cheaper, more fun, and significantly more fulfilling. Plus, you get to shoot people with lasers, and that's always awesome.
Hell yeah!
It's vague enough to fool women into thinking, well, this guy could be my boyfriend if only I prove myself worthy enough. Let me tell you what he actually means when he says that. I'm going to try to hook up with you as soon as possible. Like, as soon as possible. And if I like you enough, maybe I'll actually date you. If not, I'll continue to hook up with you and string you along, making you think we have a chance at being a couple.
You! I will think of you as I throw up into the toilet.
Okay, let's go there. Back when you actually had value on the dating market, you did the exact same thing, but 100 times worse. You emotionally manipulated lonely men into your friend zone. You put them through all sorts of hell, like taking you out, buying you dinner, helping you move your furniture, and being a shoulder to cry on when Miguel was bored, so he kicked you to the curb. You strung these poor guys along and gave them the notion that they would have a shot with you if they proved their worthiness, only for you to intentionally keep moving the goalpost further and further back because you knew you didn't want them in that way, but you still crave their endless validation. And that messes with a dude's head and has long-lasting repercussions on his mental health, which is way worse than a man feeding you some lines to get you in the mood to bang.
No, that is not true.
Quite frankly, even if you are only looking for something casual, cut this guy loose. There's another one. Because this one's a liar, and he's still going to angle for that girlfriend experience at his convenience, like he's the king and you're his court jester. No, that doesn't work. Thank you, and next.
Oh, don't act like you're innocent, woman. Is it not lying to wear a pound of interstellar grade makeup, post old photos of yourself on your online dating profile, or use Instagram filters to hide your wrinkles and crow's feet? If you allow that man to string you along when it's obvious that he's using you for the salt flats that lay betwixt your legs, then you're just as much to blame. Sorry, woman, you haven't a leg to stand on. You're a single divorced woman trying to give dating advice to single divorced women. You think because you've had so many experiences in dating that makes you an expert. But if you were an expert, you wouldn't be a single divorced woman. You would be happily remarried. But I guess that's asking too much of a woman whose chief personality trait is sheer incompetence. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. As always, if you find that my brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button and ring the notification bell so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.